Good evening, friends. Welcome to my YouTube and channel GR Study Abroad. As you know, all that, and this is a small platform to help the students in IELTS to get their desired bands, and they don't need to go anywhere else. And if you taken the help and from in this uh, channel, and definitely, and you will get the bands according to your requirements. As we in previous video discussed about the writing tips and how can one improve writing skills and how can one and get in 7 points. So in this short video I'm going to share with you in some very important tips in about the speaking and how can you improve in speaking sitting at home and taking in number of social media sources which will help you to improve a lot. We are going to discuss in some here in problems which students face when they are in, going for an listen speaking. They are not in getting good bands, they are not getting their desired bands, and they haven't facing some difficulties in this sense. First, and we'll discuss in some technical points and why they are not getting the good bands, where their problems lie, and you will definitely and get help from in this video if you and discussing these problems and try to solve them in yourselves and apply these new techniques in your speaking.
Look at these 5 common mistakes where every student appearing in IELTS need to avoid in his or in her speaking. First one is memorize answers. We don't need to memorize the answer in IELTS and speaking because IELTS and speaking is just based on the common words and common routines, and you don't need to worry about these things. Second biggest problem is the poor pronunciations. It is the biggest hurdle and roadblock to get the desired bands and excellent bands in IELTS speaking, because our speaking are is very poor, right? And we are in pronouncing a number of words totally wrong. We need to correct our pronunciations choosing a good dictionary like in Cambridge dictionary or Oxford. If you don't need to take the help of the dictionary, and you can choose any online dictionary and which is commonly available in your mobile phone with the help of pronunciation words and pronunciation app, and you need to improve your pronunciations. For that you need to read newspaper if you want to improve your pronunciations, and wherever you find the problems in pronunciation you check in that word in your dictionary app. Third point is in saying too much or too little. Sometimes a candidate is in waiting from examiner that an examiner will ask him to speak in more, but he does not. And sometimes a candidate is in prompting a teacher to and ask him why no. But saying too much is also wrong, and too little is also wrong. And I have seen in my in classes that in students in speaking too little until I ask them the reason behind these questions. You need to in reply questions answer at least in a 2 or 3 lines so that an examiner feels satisfied. Fourth point is our use of the transitional signals. Sometimes we haven't seen that the candidate is not in feeling comfortable in his speaking, and he is giving in different kinds of expressions, and he is looking from here and to there, and using in his hands and making the use of in his hands in different directions. Keep in mind in our lesson speaking, your personality also matters. It is being said that an eye to eye contact is very important, and so that a teacher can know about your confidence. Third, silence. In our lesson speaking, you are not expected to sit silently because you are going to study in a foreign land, and where you must have a skill to make your matter understand to a native speaker. So you need to speak in there and express yourself. And poor accent is also really a serious problem. And while that and there are in 4 and 6 types of an accents in the world, but mainly British and American accent is used and fast. It's Australian New Zealand accent in speaking is very fast considered. Poor accent likens in speaking in Punjabi accent. It gives a very wrong expressions. You need to improve your accent. For this and what you need to adopt and one international news channels like ABC, CBC, BBC, CNN, and you need to just watch in daily 5 or 3 minutes clips in, so that you can pick up the accent. All these things which I have discussed with you, and these things can come in your mind with the passage of time, with the practice, because practice makes man perfect. So before appearing in others speaking exam, you need to keep in these points in your mind, and you need to get ready for everything, so that an examiner does not find any fault in your speaking. Except that I'm going to share with you a video which is very important and for everyone, uh, where you will get the experience in this video that in how examiner is taking the speaking from candidate who.
In Japan, what would you say was the typical balance of leisure time and work time?
Where actually I've never worked in Japan, so I don't know exactly, but I think almost Japanese businessman has to work very hard every day. So just for holiday, for example, on just Sunday, they can spend their time for hobby, I think.
Do you think people have enough leisure time generally in Japan?
It depends on people, I think.
And what about the future?
Future.
Yes, will people have more time or less time?
Less time, I think.
Even less?
Yes, even less. Almost Japanese people maybe like working, I think. Could be.
What's the balance between leisure and work in your country?
You see, it's when we speak about, for example, Moscow. Of course, in Moscow, people usually work long hours, really, and they overwork maybe sometimes. But on the other side, they had a lot of possibilities to a lot of entertainment. There are a lot of casinos, for example, shows, cinemas, and everything.
Do you think this will change in the future?
I'm not sure that it will change in nearest future. I think the schedule of work will be even harder. Stronger, harder, tougher.
What is the balance between leisure and work like in your country?
I think people work too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, more than the leisure. What
Why do you think that? Why do you think people work too much?
I think because I think salaries are not that high, and people need to work a lot to provide themselves, I think. And also, I think, on the other hand, professional people just want to go higher in the job ladder. So
do you think this will change in the future, or will it always be like this?
I think it's changing now. People realize that you can be productive without staying all day doing things all the time.
You mentioned that the work leisure balance in Germany is perhaps a little bit out of balance. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I mean, the regular working hours would be 8 to 9 hours a day, but nowadays competition is quite big because of the unemployment, so everybody is really putting a lot of overtime in their work, and most of the time probably don't get paid for it. And leisure time is increasingly, of course, getting less and less, and so people are definitely looking forward to the holidays or their weekends to enjoy family life. But I think family life isn't that what it was before, because everybody's so focused on their careers and to keep their jobs and have a good income and survive basically in the system. So,
do you think this will continue in the future?
Well, probably in the next 10 years till the economy again is picking up and our social welfare system is getting better again, because it was quite good years ago. But the last 10 years, I would say, it really declined a bit.
I hope, friends, you will find this video very helpful to get you your plans in IELTS. Please subscribe in my channel to get more help from my videos, and so that I will bring in more techniques for you to improve this. And thank you so much.